What? You don't have a mentor or a coach? You got to be kidding me. We're going to talk about it on today's podcast. Hi, my name is Michael Johnson. I'm a ballroom dance professional, a life coach, and a peak performance expert. I'm part of a group of motivated people who are dedicated to attaining emotional mastery and unlocking our full potential. We've realized life is a dance. The ups and downs can spin you out of your mind, but it's time to take back control. It's time to become a lifer. We don't believe others are responsible for how we feel. In fact, we don't believe anyone can make us feel anything. We are a new breed of overachievers. Emotional mastery is our journey, and unlocking our full potential is the key. Welcome to the journey. We are lifers, and this is Magic for Life. What's up, everybody? Michael Johnson here with the Magic for Life podcast, and I am totally excited that you're here to join me today. And I hope everything's going okay in quarantine and staying at home, hanging with the fam, hanging with the friends, playing some video games, reading some cool books, and listening to your coaches and your mentors. I hope that's what you've been doing. I hope you've taken some time to be able to find and get in touch with the people that inspire you, the people that you look up to, the people that you want to do more to be more like. And I appreciate you getting in and listening to me right now, because hopefully that means that you have found some value and that you like the podcast and you like what we have to talk about. But today we're going to talk about mentors and coaches and this idea of being able to have somebody to look up to. And I think that there's a misnomer, right? An idea that having a coach or having somebody that helps you work through challenging times might be for people that are broken or sick or might have real problems, right? Whatever that means. And that it's maybe not for everybody. But, honestly, that's not necessarily true. I grew up dancing. I have been a ballroom dancer since I was 5. And my whole life, I've had coaches. I've had teachers. My mother was a dancer as well, and she tried to teach me. I was a little stubborn, right? So we kind of butted heads a little bit, but I did learn a ton from my mother, and she taught me on a regular basis. And it created this great idea of understanding that you should have coaches and that you should have people in your life that are teaching you and training you and that you're learning from. And through the years, I've had so many great coaches and mentors, and I wanted to get on and do this episode all about having people that we look up to and people that we model and that we try to figure out how they're doing their cool thing or their unique thing that they've accomplished, and understanding that you can find a mentor or a coach in so many different things, so many different elements. And I just wanted to kind of point that out, because sometimes it just takes somebody like me coming up and going, hello. What was that from? Oh, that was from Back to the Future, right? McFly, hello, anybody there? Right? And understand that there are so many different ways to have a mentor or coach. Some of you might be saying, but Michael, I don't have the money to do this. I don't have the money to hire a coach. And I'm saying, hello, there's lots of different ways to do it. You don't have to hire a coach. It would be great if you did. And there's lots of different ways to do that. So let me explain to you a bunch of the different ways that are available. And especially now during quarantine time, everybody's learning how to use all of the screen sharing software, all of the video conferencing software. I remember when I was young, watching Star Trek and thinking, gosh, how cool would that be? Not to have to call somebody and talk just through sound, but like talk face to face. And are you kidding me? It's here. It's today. We could totally do it. We can do it on our phones. We can do it on our computers. We can talk face to face. In fact, I think one of the, and there's many positives that are coming out of this quarantine and this pandemic. And one of them is that we're learning that technology is available for us to talk face to face. If you wanted to have a coaching session with me, you could book the coaching book the coaching session and we could talk face to face. It wouldn't be over the phone. We wouldn't have to hide. We would have a personal connection. How cool would that be? And you know what? That's kind of where the world's coming to. And I think everybody's starting to learn and understand that that's available. And it's been around for a long time. It's been available for ages, right? But there's so much more than that. Now, let's kick back. What are some of the ways that you could have a mentor or a coach? One of the ways is books. I know you say, but I'm not a reader. You know what? In today's day, there are audiobooks out there. For goodness sake, you could get my book and you could get the audiobook version and listen to it over the course of 4 or 5 hours and have all that information that it took me 20 years to get all condensed into a 4 or 5 hour period of time. You would have it and you'd be able to use it and change your life. Most books will come on audio these days. And if not, you can usually find a way to get it on audio. And if you have a book that is, that you want to learn from that hasn't been put on audio, there are other ways to get the information if you just don't want to read the whole book. But then you can get the whole value of that person's experience. Books are amazing. I like to read, but I find when I start reading that I go really slow because I stop and I pause and I can go at my own speed. So I tend not to get through them. So when I want to get through a book and learn all the information and really get the idea, I tend to get audiobooks first. And almost always, if I buy a book, if I can find a way to get the audiobook version of it, I will do that. I'll play it in my car. I'll get through it during my drives, my commutes. If you're exercising, you can put it in your headphones. Maybe you're even listening to me that way. In many instances, somebody's read that book on YouTube. You can find it on YouTube. Mine isn't on YouTube, but there's lots of people, like a lot of the older books, you can get and you can listen to them. It's a great way to be able to have a mentor and to be able to ask yourself, hey, if I were talking to Napoleon Hill right now, what would he say? Because maybe you get in a challenging situation. Maybe you're in a challenging life or business situation. You think to yourself, gosh, what would Napoleon Hill do in this situation? And you could even go pull out the book and see, okay, based off of this, what would he say to do in that book? Or you could just imagine what he would say and come up with it and go, well, if I were talking to Napoleon Hill right now, what would he say to me? He would say, you need a mastermind group. Oh, mastermind group. Okay, well, that kind of leads me to one of the others, which is a mastermind group. For goodness sakes, get to be part of a group. Now, if you didn't know this, if you're on Facebook there's tons of places, but Facebook, there's tons of groups. Go join a group. Just type in the subject you're interested in, and you can get into a group about anything. Tons of groups, and that's not just Facebook. I use that as an example, but there's groups for everything. And there's tons of groups on lots of different platforms, but you could also sign up and pay to be part of a mastermind group. And for goodness sakes, there are some amazing mastermind groups that you could be a part of. I'm part of one right now, and it's on a topic that I'm studying and learning about. And it's awesome. We get assignments every week. We get to learn about the new thing. They present a new topic, and not every group is the same. Okay, so I'm not telling you that that's the case, but we learn about something new every week. We get on, we can ask our questions, we can present what we did. They'll talk about it. The group will talk about it. It's awesome. If you're not part of a mastermind group, you need to be part of a mastermind group. And it's a really inexpensive way. You can do it all the way from the free groups, which obviously are going to be less involved, all the way to your paid mastermind groups. In fact, one of my mentors that I look up to runs a mastermind group that it costs $100,000 a year to be part of. $100,000 just to get in the door. I'm not part of that one yet, but I'm planning to be, right? At some point I will be part of that mastermind group. But you have to understand, mastermind groups come in all different shapes and sizes depending on where you're at and what you can do. And you can look ahead and go, oh, I'd like to be part of that mastermind group someday. That would be really fun, right? There are group coaching groups. So if you can't afford a coach one-on-one, then you could get part of a group coaching, and you could actually benefit from everybody else coming in and asking their questions, because sometimes you're a little nervous. How many times have you been a little nervous to ask your question because it was like, I don't want everybody to focus on me? But you could actually listen, and other people might have the same challenges in the thing that you're in that group for. It could be anything, right? So speaking of coaching, you could get one-on-one coaching. You could find yourself a life coach like me and get working on something in your life that you would like to fix. Now, my specialty is emotions. I love talking to people about emotions. I like helping people figure out what it is that they want in life, right? And help them be able to attain it using emotional mastery. That's one of my things. So if you like that, if you want a life coach like that, hey, give me a call. Let me know. Send me an email and we'll get you in. But one-on-one coaching is great, right? It's a lot of fun. You get to work specifically on you, all the attention on you privately. How cool is that? That wasn't cool when I was younger. You can go listen to my stories, right? When I was learning about life coaching for the first time, that wasn't a cool thing. Now, let me tell you, why wouldn't you have a coach? We have a coach for everything. We have a coach for basketball. We have a coach for football. We have a coach for math and physics. And we have a coach, we just call them teachers sometimes. But the best teachers you've ever had have been coaches, because they taught you something, but they also guided you, right? And in many instances, having a coach is somebody that can help keep you accountable. How cool is that? That's really, really cool. You're here on a podcast. This is a great way to find a bunch of different people from a similar subject and listen to how they talk. I have listened to so many different podcasts, and some of them I go, oh, I don't like that. I'm not going to listen to that guy, because it wasn't really my cup of tea. But I found 3, 4, 10, 15, 100 others, literally, that I love to listen to. And depending on the mood I'm in, sometimes I pick a different person. And you know that too, because if you're listening to me right now, maybe you kind of are in a binge mode, or maybe you're like, oh, I like this guy. But maybe sometimes I'm too excited and I talk too fast, and you want to listen to somebody that's calm. That's cool. I like that. But you know what? You know what you're going to get when you come and listen to the podcast. And that's great. That's exactly what it is. Podcasts are free. And what a great resource. There's so much amazing information out there that you can get in the topic that you're interested in. And there's probably a podcast for anything that you want to learn about or get better at or improve on. That's cool, right? All right. So we talked about books. We talk about podcasts, mastermind groups, coaches, even looking to leaders and coaches of other teams and other things. This is a great way to learn what they have to share. And so I thought I'd go through a list of some of my mentors and coaches and group things that I do, just to give you an example of what you could do. But you got to get involved, and you've got to get into a place where you're like, you know what, it's time to grow. It's time to change. It's time to get better. And I need some mentors and I need some help now. So what can you do? Well, let's talk about some books. Easy. The Alchemist. If you haven't read The Alchemist, go get it. Oh, for goodness sakes. It's been translated in so many languages. I didn't even know some of the languages that existed that it's been translated into. Go get The Alchemist. It's amazing. It will change your life. It's a great book. Think and Grow Rich. For goodness sakes, if you haven't read Think and Grow Rich, what? Why have you not? If you'd like a free copy of it, let me know. I'll get it to you. We'll figure out a way to get it to you. Okay, I'll get you a free digital copy of Think and Grow Rich. For goodness sake, there's no excuse, right? Think and Grow Rich. Anthony Robbins, Unlimited Power, an amazing book, change your life forever. And that's just to name a few. Russell Brunson, if you're into business, get his expert secrets, .com secrets, traffic secrets. For goodness sakes, if you don't know how to get them, send me an email. I will show you how to get them. These are some great books. I mean, that's literally just to name a few. Depends on what you're interested in, but there's so many out there. And how cool is that, right? You can get to those books quickly, okay? Let's talk about some of my, some of the people that I've looked up to as mentors. You don't have to know them for them to be mentors and coaches for you. You don't have to actually know them. How cool is that? So sports figures, Magic Johnson, Michael Cooper, Kobe Bryant, Peyton Manning. These are all people I look up to and that I go, how do they do it? How can I model them? right? Those are just sports figures. Famous coaches, John Wooden, Phil Jackson, Nick Saban, some of the best coaches that have ever existed and done some amazing things. How do they coach? How can I learn from their coaching, right? Famous people that are influencers, Tony Robbins, Dean Graziosi, Russell Brunson, Steve Larson. These are some amazing public figures that are major influencers that are teaching some amazing things. In my own personal life, just a quick shout out to some people that have really changed my life. Fran Rogers, Diane Oliveira, Sal Torre, Doug O'Brien. These are people that I've known and that have been influencers in my life, and that I could call up and I could talk to, and they would be helpful in my life. Thank goodness for them. And that's just to name a few. Forget my grandparents and my parents and, the people that have influenced my life besides them. There's just a ton. The list is huge. I just named a few, right? And you look at it and then you go, well, what about groups and mastermind groups? Well, I won't tell you some of the ones I'm in because I'm into the things I'm into, right? And I'm learning about those. But what about groups you could be a part of? Well, like I said, you could go search all over the place. Here's an official invitation, shameless plug. Come and join my Lifer group coaching. Come and be a Lifer and join the Lifer group coaching. If you need to know how, send me an email, info@magicforlife.com, and come and get to be part of the group. It's a really inexpensive way to get your questions and your challenges worked on, or even just to learn from the group's challenges. We work on emotional stuff. We work on mindset stuff. We talk about how to manage, control, and execute your emotions. You can't get better than that. It applies to everything you do in your life. So come and join us. If you need to know how, send me an email at info@magicforlife.com. And we'll get you in. If you're a dancer, because I know that there are a bunch of dancers listen to me, come and join our group coaching that's Dance Magic Mindset, right? It's for dancers, by dancers. It's about dancers. So if you're a dancer, come and join us in that. Guys, there's so many different cool groups you could be part of, and you could take your life to the next level. And I would like to invite you to do that. So do it today. Get to be part of that and find something in all of these different areas that you can follow, right? And learn from. And besides that, thank you so much for being here and being part of our group at Magic for Life and the Magic for Life podcast. I appreciate you so much. And I'm so thankful that you're here. If you haven't yet, hit the subscribe button and the notification bell if you're watching on YouTube. If you're listening on Stitcher, Spotify, iTunes, Google Play Music, please subscribe and download the podcast. And please, please, please share it with your friends. Who do you know that could need or use this message today? Send them the message. Help them start to improve and change their life for the better. And let's turn this world around, right? Let's make this place a better place for all of us. Anyway, I appreciate you being here, and I appreciate you listening. And don't forget, every minute. We'll see you guys next podcast. Take care. Bye-bye. Want more Magic for Life? If so, then reserve your copy of my new book. Get your copy at everyminutebook.com. Inside this book, you'll find the secrets to attaining the next level of performance in anything you do. Learn the secrets behind emotional mastery that'll start you on your new journey of being a lifer. Whether you're an athlete, a business professional, or an artist, this book will change your life forever. Get your copy reserved today.